The constructs, the Thopters, are not actually blue, I believe, meaning that the sword is barely more than a +2/+2 on something.
That would be curious, as it appeared in the colored artifact block. Thopter Foundry itself is a colored artifact.
Yep.
You would imagine it would make colored artifact tokens. But
the key, though, Thopter Foundry is 3 colors. Are you going to make the token a 3-colored artifact token?
You could make it base blue, because the card itself is base blue.
Reasonable. The problem, of course, Thopters were already printed on a couple other cards.
All right, so Stoneforge Mystic going to cheat in the sword.
Yeah, I like that. One Stoneforge to go get the sword, the other one to cheat it down. Save yourself a mana.
What a deal.
Yeehaw!
That is value. Sort of.
That's like Mark Herberhall's walking over to Burger King at 5 minutes before closing, and they're like, hey, he just wants to buy a cheeseburger, and they're like, well,
we're going to throw in
another one. Exactly.
We're going to throw it out anyway.
Exactly. We'll just throw in an extra one, Yep. That's value.
Yeah. You caught us right before we were about to clean out the grease traps.
Yeah.
Enjoy yourself.
Mark Herberhall's Trap Star, the Burger King style. Sword of Fire and Ice. No, shout out to Mark Herberhall's. We talked about yesterday, making his big Magic comeback since moving to the States. Here we're going to see Cody equipping Sword of Fire and Ice, trying to make some progress. Do you think he just puts it on the Spirit of the Labyrinth to gain a little bit more life?
It just feels like it's impossible for Cody to make progress except by gaining enough life to give himself additional draw steps. That's really all he's got going on right now. It's hard to imagine, you put this on one of your other creatures, all it does is, force Adam to block a second creature. At this point, Adam has no end of extraneous blockers. Every mana he has is a 1/1.
He's got a lot of life. He's got a clock that threatens to basically increase by several every turn. I mean, the thing is, though, this is 9 life a turn. He's gaining 11 life with the Death Ray Shaman. He can keep this up for, this whole turn, hopefully.
Yeah, as much life as he's gaining, it's not going to take long for Adam to be able to overwhelm this.
Yeah, Adam's currently at 6 Thopters, plus the sword is always 1 extra damage. Even if he blocks 2 creatures, Cody's just trying to eat up as much as he can.
Yep.
Man. What do you do? I guess all you can really do is just try to get as much life as you can. This is looking to be 5 more Thopters joining the party. Adam doesn't have enough to just take it and swing back for the win, does he?
He has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I think.
It looks like he's going to be at a spot where he will win if the Deathrite Shaman has no food to eat.
This is in a world where he's just taking the whole hit.
If he just takes the whole thing, it says,
there is a risk of just allowing Cody to draw a card.
Yeah, plus the 2 damage from the... because he could shoot one of the Thopters.
Right.
Now, he wouldn't actually draw the card because of the Spirit of the Labyrinth.
Mm-hmm.
However, the 2 extra damage means that he could kill a Thopter and I believe live by 1.
All right, so Adam is going to activate Divine Top at the end of the turn, doesn't like what he sees, uses Flooded Strand to shuffle.
Yeah, what's Adam looking for to actually cement this game? Obviously he's a big favorite now that he's in this position, but what can actually lock things out?
Well, at this stage, Entreat greatly accelerates the clock. I think that's the big draw that he has access to. I think,
Yeah, Entreat, I guess, makes it so that even if an Engineer Plague comes down, it doesn't win.
Right.
Counterbalance could be good.
Yep.
Counterspell or Force of Will could be good.
All right, so Adam tops again.
And it looks like there is that counterbalance, but it doesn't look like a lot of converted mana costs that he needs to lock Cody out. But we shall see.
All right, so there is a terminus at the end of the turn, and that is really brutal for Cody as, again, Adam working with infinite resources and Cody with actually having to cast spells to add to the board.
Yeah, and we don't have Cody's life correct. I believe Cody is... Oh, wait, was this during the attack phase? This is during the end step, right?
I believe that Cody passed. We may be inside of combat.
Cody deciding how, if at all, to respond to this miraculous top deck by
What
by
were
Adam.
the odds? Yeah, we're inside of combat right now, so.
Well, in that case, that's going to be all she wrote.
Yeah.
Cody's entire board being devastated, meaning Cody does not get a chance to gain life from the Batterskull, which means that Adam only needs to do 4 damage, and his ability to make 4 Thopters plus the sword means he's already there. Does Cody have an answer right now?
Adam at the end of the turn goes ahead, makes a couple Thopters, gains some life.
And we are right back to dead on board. Somebody get Lou Dobbs on the phone.
And there is game number 2. Adam comes back on the back of a very, very timely Thopter Foundry, and we're going to be going on to a 3rd game.
Yeah, it's definitely, it's times like this that you're like, man, I thought I had him. I thought I had so much going on. It just turns out I'm Lou.
That is the risk with playing decks like Black White Deathblade. You really don't have any control over the top of your opponent's deck. You don't clock them very hard, and so you disrupt, and then there's usually a couple draw steps where you have to keep the finger crossed unless you have some sort of card, you know, like a Spirit of the Labyrinth or a Choke that happens to lock your opponent out. Otherwise, you're just sweating some draw steps.
That was very, very, very well played by Adam. I mean, he had a lot of decision points where he had to play exactly correct in order to find a path to give himself a chance to have even a top deck. You know, like you have to get lucky to find some of those cards, but my goodness, did he give himself every chance.
Yeah. But it does seem like Cody has a fairly sound game plan here.
Oh, yeah.
He's going to attack the hand, try to strand Adam with some disconnected pieces, clock him pretty fast with Dark Confidants and those sort of creatures. So a solid overall game plan there, but not a lot of outs to Thopter Foundry, Sword of the Meek. So that's going to be the big thing here. Can Cody assemble enough disruption, and then can he win quickly enough? We can look back at the sideboard here. Cody with a Manriki Gasari, an Aethersworn Candace, a Phyrexian Revoker, a Choke, an Engineered Plague, a Humility, an Oblivion Ring, a Rest in Peace, a Spirit of the Labyrinth, 2 Enlightened Tutors, a Zealous Persecution, and 3 copies of Thalia, Guardian of Thraben.
Yeah, I don't think Adam wants to change too much. I mean, he did pull it off despite pretty crazy odds. What do you think about Wear and Tear, man? That could be a game changer, right?
A lot of, I mean, we saw Choke and Artifacts, right?
Oh my gosh, the ability to be able to hit Choke, or as well as something like Spirit of the Labyrinth, or obviously any of the equipment, that could be potentially real big.
Yeah, I like Wear and Tear here a bit.
I think Wear and Tear is a little bit of an underrated card in Legacy. I mean, it does get a fair bit of play, but Legacy is a format where there are a lot of people where you can actually do both halves, and the efficiency is so good that you would do either half.
Yeah, there's a lot of the place where I see Wear and Tear most frequently is in Blue White Red Delver. Usually there's one in the sideboard there for equipment battles, maybe pick off stray detention spheres here and there. But definitely a very flexible card, and you know, it's the type of card, like I said, these Legacy tournaments are going to be long. You're going to run into a lot of different opponents doing different things. Having broad strokes answers to a variety of things is a valuable thing, and Wear and Tear is definitely a card in that category.
It's like a gymnast. Very flexible.
Yes. It took me a second there to get to where you were going. And then you actually had to explain it to me. So I guess I never really technically got there.
All right.
But whose fault is that? You know, that's on me.
You know, I would blame Kibler. You get to draw one. Yeah, we were just asked. People on Twitter were asking, how did he get to draw a card in the middle of combat? And the answer is, of course, It was his first card for the turn. Spirit of the Labyrinth only allows people to draw 1 card per turn. Adam had not drawn any cards that turn since it was Cody's turn. He used Sensei's Divining Top, activated its ability, and drew his first card for the turn. Heaven hold, what do you know? It happened to be a Terminus.
I'm actually curious, there could be some cascading influences of Spirit of the Labyrinth if it actually took off. If you were a combo deck, would you consider perhaps moving to some cantrips like Opt, Instant Speed, Pieces of Selection to sort of circumvent Spirit of the Labyrinth a little bit?
Over Ponder?
Maybe Preordain?
I mean, I'm not sure who's even using Preordain yet, but I think it's just Preordain's too much stronger than Opt. The only reason I would do Opt is if I were playing High Tide, I could see considering it. High Tide's one where sometimes you want the actual instant speed interaction. I just think it's one of those spots where if Spirit of the Labyrinth started in play, obviously that would be a different story, but my goodness, is Preordain a ridiculous Magic card?
I think things would have to go a lot of Spirit of the Labyrinth.
Oh yeah, there is a certain point though where people would, could get on board with that.
Ops and Peaks instead of Gitaxian Probes and Preordains.
I'll tell you what's a brutal one to try to power through Spirit of the Labyrinth with is Brainstorm.
Oh, that is a mess.
Yeah.
That is a real mess. All right, Cody leading off the action here. Fetches a Swamp, plays Thoughtseize, looks at Island, Vendilion Click, Terminus, Arid Mesa, Force of Will, Jace the Mind Sculptor, and Source of Plowshare.
This is a very legacy hand.
Yeah.
This is the type of hand you look at and you're like, yep. Yep, yep, yep.
And this is actually a pretty, inside the margins kind of hand from Adam. All just regular good stuff. No weird, disparate pieces.
Yeah, I mean, Terminus is the weirdest of them, but even Terminus can be played the backup way pretty easily.
Yeah. So Adam with a lot of protection here. Even if Cody had something like Dark Confidant, let's say, between Force of Will plus blue card plus Source of Plowshares, Adam has himself protected.
Yeah. Now, what he doesn't have a lot of is land.
And no cantrips.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, so Cody's got to decide which game does he want to play, It looks like he is talking that whole take your plow and then threaten like a Dark Confidant type of thing. Mm-hmm. Because that way he can at least get 2 cards out of it when the Force of Will has to come down.
And Cody's deck very much a raw card count type of deck.
Yeah. And ooh baby, does he like it raw. Now, how do you figure Wasteland factors into the equation here?
See Deathrite Shaman. In terms of?
Now, are you going to Wasteland as soon as possible, or is there? I mean, that Adam has a real shortage of mana. I mean, is the bigger game Adam having to wait to fetch until he's sure that he's willing to lose it? I mean,
I think when Adam has a hand with no cantripping, no ability to fix itself, and it's light on mana, I think if you actually get an opportunity to Wasteland, it's just lights out.
Yeah, I mean, Adam is going to have to search up basic planes at some point unless his hand goes a particular way. Here we see that Liliana drawing the Force of Will.
And these are all, small victories for Cody thus far. He's just trying to run Adam out of resources while Adam is not doing anything that threatening. No Thopter Foundry, no Stoneforge Mystic. These kind of trades are really productive for Cody.
How long until Force of Will is reprinted?
Isn't that one on the reserve list? No, it is not.
Nope. And it's rumored about every other year that it's going to be reprinted in a standard legal set, which I think is insane.
I don't think it's on the table for a standard legal set, but I do think that it's certainly reasonable to reprint in some sort of boutique product.
I've heard a lot of people whose opinions I respect suggest that it might actually be on the table. Now, fortunately, enough people I think have some sense that I don't think that's going to happen, but my goodness, that would be insane.
Yes.
It was insane the last time it was legal in standard 17 years ago.
So Adam going to set up the Terminus on the top of his deck, goes and fetches with Aramesa, finds the planes to play around, the Wasteland in play, gets rid of the Deathrite Shaman.
Kind of a nice little interaction there too, right? Like he puts the Miracle on the stack and then fetches up the mana to cast it. If he had searched earlier, obviously he'd shuffle away the Terminus.
Cody cast a Deathrite Shaman with whatever the Word is that means the opposite of a flourish. And passes with just his wastelands and scrublands up very low on cards. Both players not a lot of resources, but Adam with divining top.
Things are actually going pretty well for Adam, all things considered. Cody, of course, about to escalate things with a Batterskull, but if Adam can find another fetch land with that Sensei's Divining Top, he has wear and tear.
Thoughtseize from Cody.
He had wear and tear.
Vendilion Click, Detention Sphere, Jace the Mind Sculptor, wear and tear.
Wow, so here Adam has multiple answers to the Batterskull.
But it's much easier in the short term probably to find a second blue mana than a red mana.
Yeah, I mean, even the Detention Sphere, though, which could be any color.
Oh, that's why I'm saying I believe the Detention Sphere is the pick here.
Oh,
over the wear tear.
Sure.
Or Cody might just feel that the game's going to be going on for a long enough time that he's concerned about a high impact card like Jace the Mind Sculptor.
Looks like he does take the Detention Sphere. He doesn't have a ton going on right now, and he wants to try to give himself chances to continue to do this much.
And here's going to be the hard cast Batterskull.
Hard cast Batterskull is not looking. It's not looking its most fearsome. It's most deadly. I mean, that Sensei's Divine Top is going to give Adam a lot of looks.
Yeah. In games that involve pretty honest decks, where pressure is low, Divining Top is one of the best cards you can have.
Oh yeah. And unfortunately, that's why so many people play it in Legacy. That and Counterbalance.
All right, Adam found what he was looking for, sets it down. Plays Volcanic Island and uses it to shatter the Batterskull. You can see Cody a little bit frustrated here. He was really leaning on that Batterskull because he's light on action otherwise, although now Wasteland is turned on. He's going to take care of the Volcanic Island.
Now, Deathrite Shaman, not a super big influence on the game right now, but at least he's doing 2 a turn.
Yeah.
Making him a respectable clock as far as Birds of Paradise go.
But Jace is looming.
Yep, that Arid Mesa, pseudo-unwastable, meaning that Adam needs just one more land.
Huge draw from Cody. Huge draw, Lingering Souls.
That is real big. I mean, Lingering Souls not beat by such simple matters as Force of Will or Humility or
even
Swords to Plowshares.
Jace the Mind Sculptor provides no defense.
See, this is why Jace eventually upgraded to the Architect of Thought. No, it's true. I mean, Jace the Mind Sculptor is not bad, but Jace the Architect of Thought is version 4.0, yo.
Yeah. Jace the Mind Sculptor was insulted because if Jace loses, it's usually to a lot of small creatures. So Architect of Thought is avenging all the losses the Mind Sculptor took over the years, which weren't even that many, really.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. It's not clear there were any.
Adam here topping and fetching, trying to dig for some sort of response.
Man, I remember when people used to wonder if Jace Beleren or Jace the Mind Sculptor was in fact the better Jace.
Mm-hmm. Simpler times.
Yeah. We were innocent then.
What did we know? How were we supposed to know?
Yeah, we, on the average anyway.
I meant like the collective we.
Yeah.
Not you and I necessarily.
Yeah. Yeah, another look at the top 3 cards with another Sensei's Divining Top activation. Adam trying to figure out a new plan. That Detention Sphere also would have been a good answer to the Batterskull to the Lingering Soul situation.
So Cody at the end of turn activating Deathrite Shaman. Adam with the 4th mana can't even deploy Jason in the face of this board.
Yeah, and Cody's slow playing it a little bit because he wants to play around Terminus, and quite frankly, I don't blame him.
Yeah. So Adam clicks Cody inside of his draw step, reveals 2 scrublands. And Cody aggressively sends in his tokens.
Yeah, those Lingering Souls tokens. I mean, Lingering Souls was exactly what the doctor ordered. Tom Martell would be proud.
A high impact draw in a game where neither player is really doing very much.
Well, Adam sure is activating a lot of cards, or the cards he does have a lot of times. See, I kind of picture this is what Richard Garfield was imagining 20-something years ago. You know, he's like sitting around, he's like, you know what, we need to make a game where people can do this someday.
Yeah. What's the most fun part of poker? Shuffling. When you shuffle the deck, that's the most fun part.
Yeah. Sensei's Divining Top is a lot like you're playing a game of poker, and then like while you're waiting for the other guy to make his move, you're shuffling the chips in your hand.
Exactly.
That's what Sensei's Divining Top is emulating. It's the shuffling the chips experience.
Yes, as Adam here is debating between whether or not he wants to draw Swords of Plowshares or draw a Flooded Strand to shuffle his deck and look at 3 fresh ones.
Yes. Fresh, fresh, very fresh. Adam taking a peek. The key to Sensei's Divining Top is you have to take as many peeks as you want before you put it back down, or else you have to pay another mana to take some more peeks.
Yeah. And Adam tapped out there too, so that would be especially rough.
Yeah.
All right, here comes Jace.
This is one of those limited time only Jaces.
Yeah.
He does brainstorm. The Jace surely going to get swallowed up by the Lingering Souls tokens, but Adam trying to dig as aggressively as he can. He's going to fetch, get a fresh look. He's on the hunt for Terminus at this point.
And Swords to Plowshares on the Deathrite Sound to finish all this off.
Yeah, he's got to buy himself a little bit of time too.
Entreat would be a high impact draw as well.
Oh yeah.
So there's some real goodies in Adam's deck from here.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's not clear. It's not clear if there's anything too much besides the different miracles, but he's got a bunch of those. I mean, it's unlikely. I guess in theory he might be able to pull. You know, with Top, he might be able to pull the entire Thopter Foundry Sword combo together. Engineer Explosives may have been boarded in.
But he also has a lot of pretty anemic draws from here as well, as all of his 1-for-1 cards that trade 1-for-1 here just provide very little against Lingering Souls.
Yeah, and quite frankly, every single card in his deck except for the Miracles and Enlightened Tutor is pretty close to an anemic draw. I mean, this is you called it as soon as he drew the Lingering Souls. This is what Cody was hoping to do to get back into this. The beatdown continues. 3 at Jace, 1 to the. Oh no, I think is it all? Yeah, it's all 4 to Jace.
Yeah, just as insurance, you know, Adam has the ability to block one of the Lingering Souls tokens. Cody wants to make sure he gets Jace off the table.
Yeah. Adam running out of time. He's gonna need to find something. At this point, Entreat would not do a whole lot given the real shortage of extra mana. It would do something, I guess, but.
Yeah, he may be able to set up for next turn, but not really this one. Stoneforge Mystic. That's what Adam decides upon.
Yep. Now, he does not actually have access to a Jitte. The Batterskull is probably too slow, but the big advantage here is another shuffle and 3 more fresh ones.
Yeah. I mean, if he has 1 more draw step to bridge the gap here, then that Batterskull can be huge.
Oh, yeah. Upwards of a 4/4.
So, Cody sends in all the tokens. Adam trying to preserve his life total trades.
The 3 tokens mean, as long as Adam doesn't fetch, he's got 1 turn to breathe. He could, in theory, do this. And obviously, you know, instantly a Miracle or Engineer Explosives changes everything.
Yeah. So that Batterskull not in play, still in Adam's hand. Topping at the end of Cody's turn here.
Playing open face for the style.
Oh, and there's
wow.
the explosives.
Wow.
That's the perfect draw, too, as it still leaves Adam with enough mana here to deploy Batterskull.
Yeah, the Terminus would have taken the Stoneforge Mystic down too. Why not just go for the actual Nutter Butters, as Michael Jacob would say?
Yeah. And now a second straight rally here from Adam.
Yeah, some real great back and forth here. I mean, that's part of what makes Magic such an awesome game.
The swings, the ability to come back.
Yeah, I mean, so often it seems like one player has such a big advantage. I mean, we saw the previous game, Cody having a commanding position, but this game, Adam way ahead, Cody turning your own Lingering Souls, taking over the game. Adam, wow, near the end of his rope, gets the explosives. And even now it looks like it's real good for Adam, but Cody is not out of the water yet, or not out of the, out of contention yet.
Yeah. And if you want to take away anything really noteworthy from this game, this is the difference.
Which I do.
With the deck like Cody not having access to Brainstorm. He's just at the mercy of his draw steps. He had a couple bad runs in a row, flooded out a little bit, and when that happens, there's no hope of him being able to fix his hand and draw a bunch of gas all in a row.
Yeah. Yep, this is the price you pay for being that guy who does not play Brainstorm in the Brainstorm format. Now, the upside, of course, there are a lot of weapons in this black-white deck. It's got harder to disrupt mana than a lot. And quite frankly, it's just got a lot of sweet cards, right? Like that, a lot of discard, a lot of powerful threats like Dark Confidant and Stoneforge Mystic.
So Cody here resolving his Stoneforge Mystic.
Do we have time for the Stoneforge Mystic getting a Batterskull to matter? Is Jitte even a real thing? I mean, is that an option?
I feel like there's an immediacy. It is getting the Jitte here. It feels a little slow to the party as, the Batterskull's taking such huge chunks, and the Jitte on Stoneforge Mystic doesn't even allow him to take out the Batterskull.
Yeah. This is a tough spot. Now, he only had one Batterskull in his deck, so obviously the Batterskull being in the graveyard from the wear and tear means that it's just a question of Sword of Fire and Ice and Jitte ends up being the one.
Divine Top from Adam.
Yeah, Stoneforge Mystic, a very completely reasonable Magic card.
Adam draws and sacrifices Flooded Strand. Gonna get another Spindaroo with his top.
Yes. He is in the market for 3 fresh ones.
Sends in with Batterskull. Cody not ready to chump block just yet. But definitely up against the ropes.
We're rapidly approaching minute 80 of the counterbalance deck showdown. The Stoneforge Mirror. Looks like our little shuffle tracker just rolled over. We're back to 0-0.
All right. Umezawa should take equipped to Stoneforge Mystic.
And this is a very respectable play. I mean, yeah, his back's against the wall. Things are a little tough, but at least he has something going for him. You know what I mean?
Yeah, the issue is just the Batterskull is outclassing him, and he needs to find more creatures to actually build up the Jitte to a point where it can start really impacting Adam's board. And it just doesn't look like Cody has that kind of time.
You know what would be great is another Lingering Souls, and for Adam to continue to have 3 land on top of his deck all the time, none of which shuffle.
Instead, it's Jason the Mind Sculptor.
Huh.
Is it pretty similar?
Yeah. That's something. Cody dropping to 1.
Yeah, unsummons the Stoneforge Mystic. Jace still at 2. Divine Top still available.
Dude, I love a Jace the Mind Sculptor bounce move.
Yeah, especially Stoneforge Mystic.
That's like the killer crossover. That's just like, I mean, like anybody can just, shoot the 3-pointer or dunk. The 0 ability, nothing. The +2 ability, whatever. Everybody does that. There we go. So Adam, with the strength of the -1, And a lot of Stoneforge Mystic shenanigans. Wins 2-1 in a marathon Stoneforge semi-mirror.
Yeah.